Hello, everyone. Tom with Capo Fetish. A while back, we talked about songs that put us in a funk. What about albums that pull us out of a funk? That is today's subject. I have about 10 here I'm going to mention. These are kind of like go-to records, right? When I'm kind of in that down in the dumps a little bit, feeling a little off, you know, in a funk, basically. When I'm in that particular mode, this is one that I always reach for, and it always does the trick, and it's Howen Wolf. I'm a huge fan of Howlin' Wolf, probably my favorite blues artist. This is a box set that Chess put out back in the early 90s. It has 3 discs in it. Each disc covers a particular period in Howlin' Wolf's career. Disc 1 is 51 to 55, disc 2 is 56 to 63, and disc 3 is 64 to 73. All is fantastic. I've listened to the Rocking Chair album and Moanin' at Midnight many times. Those are also 2 go-to albums of mine, but this box set it just delivers the goods. Every time I feel a little bit something and I need a little lift, there's nothing like Howlin' Wolf's voice, Hubert Sumlin's guitar. That guy was really ahead of his time. Those bending notes, that sustain, that mystique, it's all there. It's all right there, and it's just delivered in just raw, honest blues. And this is one I always reach for is Howlin' Wolf, either the Rocking Chair album or Morning at Midnight. And this one here, though, has everything in the kitchen sink. So good stuff here when you're down in the dumps. Another one, too, I always reach for lately. I just love the whole sound of it. It's a great vibe. I love Neil Young's Archive series, and this one from 1970, the Fillmore East with Crazy Horse, is just fantastic. My only complaint is that it's not the full show. They omitted Cinnamon Girl from the set list, and I don't know why. He did play it. I believe it was the first track. But this is like a completely different type of Crazy Horse than Live Rust and Rust Never Sleeps. This has Jack Nietzsche on electric piano, which gives it this really cool vibe. You've got Danny Whitten on, of course, backup vocals and rhythm guitar. You've got this kind of young Neil Young. And all the tracks on here are just fantastic. Everybody knows This Is Nowhere. Winter Long, an early version of that. Down by the River, Cowgirl in the Sand, which really highlights the electric piano played by Jack Nietzsche, which is fantastic. And then Come On Baby, Let's Go Downtown, and Danny Whitten composition. Wonderin' is great. It's just all fantastic. I just love the whole vibe of this record. It's a great sounding recording, and I really love these Neil Young Archive series boots. They're fantastic, and this is another one that really gives me a lift when I need it, and I played it a ton over the past 10 years or so, or whenever it was released, 10 years or so ago. So Neil Young, live at the Fillmore in 1970, fantastic stuff. Another one, too, there was a period in my life where I listened to this album nonstop. It was around 2000, a lot of changes in my life, listening to a lot of jazz. And I just love a song from my father by the Horace Silver Quintet. So good. All 6 songs on this are so uplifting, melodic. I love Horace Silver's style. It's just so infectious. Of course, the title track, Song from My Father, those opening piano notes were used on Ricky Don't Lose That Number by Steely Dan. But just every track, The Natives Are Restless Tonight, Calcutta Cutie, Que Pasa, The Kicker, Lonely Woman, those 6 songs, just incredible. And then on the CD, there's some great bonus tracks like Sanctimonious Sam, and Sighing and Crying, and Silver Threads Among My Soul. This is just a fantastic release on the Blue Note label, one of my favorite jazz labels. So another one I return to quite frequently when I need a little lift is Song from My Father by the Horace Silver Quintet, released in 1965. When I want a little loose, raw rock and roll, look no further than the Faces. A nod is as good as a wink to a blind horse. This is the third Faces album, and it's just raw energy. Rod Stewart at his early best. Some great tracks. Ronnie Lane, the bass is like Debris, so fantastic. Such a great ballad. They do a version of Memphis. The album ends with just a really rambunctious song called That's All You Need, written by Ronnie Wood and Rod Stewart. You got Miss Judy's Farm on here. You're So Rude. Stay With Me, of course, the big hit. It's just a great, rambunctious, loose rock and roll album that always does it for me. from the Faces from 1971. A Nod is as good as a wink to a blind horse. Another one, too, I've been playing a lot of the past 7-8 years. Really gives me a good lift, too, is Frank Zappa's Hot Rats album. Just love this. This is such a timeless record, so ahead of its time. Very jazz fusion. Peaches and Regalia starts it off. I really love the track on side 2 that starts side 2. The track Little Umbrellas, just really, really cool. The melody on that, and just really uplifting. This whole album, a lot of great jams, and it just really highlights Zappa's just prowess on the guitar. So this is another one that really picks me up when I need it. Hot Rats, Frank Zappa from '69. I'm a huge fan of keyboardist Brian Auger. I have most of his stuff with the Oblivion Express. I have his stuff with Julie Driscoll, the early stuff. One of my favorite albums of all time is Street Noise, the double album from 1969. In '78, he reunited with Julie Driscoll, now named Julie Tippett, for an album on Warner Brothers, an album called Encore, which is just fantastic. I never get tired of this record. There's certain songs on this record that I return to all the time. There's a track on here written by Jack Bruce of Cream. And this track, Rope Ladder to the Moon, sung by Julie Tippett, a.k.a. Julie Driscoll, is just fantastic. Her voice just soars. The arrangement is amazing with Brian Auger. There's also an array of riches on here. Nothing Will Be As It Was is another great track. They do a version of No Time to Live, written by Steve Winwood and Jim Capaldi, that was featured on the second self-titled Traffic album. It's a great version done, again, by with those amazing vocals by Julie Tippett, Julie Driscoll. Another great track is their version of Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, Future Pilot. This is a really, really great, underrated jazz album. Jazz rock, jazz pop, call it what you want, but it's another great album that gives me a lift, especially the track Rope Ladder to the Moon. Her version of Jack Bruce's song is just absolutely stellar. You have to hear this track. Pull it up on YouTube, listen to it. It is just A+, folks, A+. Lately, I've been really into garage psych wonderkind Tai Seagull. I just love this guy. Just cranks out an album, it seems like every 4 or 5 months. And I've been listening to a lot to his third album called Goodbye Bread lately. I don't know what it is. I love that title track and just the whole album. It's very loose. It's very kind of very neo-psych. And this second album here, too, I've been listening to a lot of his. This is, I think, came out in 2014. Maybe this is like his 6th or 7th album. I'm not sure. The album called Manipulator. It's a double album, just full of great psych, pop, garage, and everything in between. If you never heard Tai Seagull, look him up, check him out. Anybody who likes psych music, garage music, this is your guy. And he's an amazing songwriter, great vocalist. He's kind of like a Todd Rundgren. He plays every instrument on most of his albums. It's just absolutely fantastic. So this is another thing I'm returning to a lot lately. It kind of lifts my soul, and that is Tai Seagull's Manipulator. Fantastic stuff. Came out in 2014. Another one, too, another jazz album I've been listening to a lot. Really, really picks me up in a really good way is Wes Montgomery's Full House, recorded in Berkeley, California, back in 1962. It's fantastic. It looks like my blue light went off there, highlighting the left side of the camera, but we'll continue with this video. So this is a great recording here from June 25th, 62, highlighting those amazing guitar chords and playing of Wes Montgomery, who's influenced so many jazz guitarists. Love his tone, his style. Another great one here. Full House, Wes Montgomery. And then, of course, I got to throw this in. I mean, when I'm down in the dumps, which is here and there, just like anybody else, this is what I really return to a lot, is James Brown, his 20 Greatest Hits, or the Star Time box set. Just, I mean, this is just like a wonder drug. If you're feeling down, dumps, excuse me. I mean, everything on here. Sex Machine, Mother Popcorn, Give It Up or Turn It Loose, Make It Funky, Think, It's a Man's World. It's just an absolute array of great funk, rhythm and blues 45s. The Payback, Cold Sweat. This will definitely pick you up. Fantastic stuff here. James Brown, 20 Greatest Hits. And then when I want just some rock and roll, this is one of my favorite compilations of all time. I love Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy by The Who. Just 14 perfect songs, perfect sequencing. Whoever put this together is just very, very, he knew what he was doing, or she knew what she was doing. A perfect record from start to finish. It's not in chronological order, but everything from I Can't Explain to I'm a Boy ending side 2, and everything in between. Some of my all-time favorite Who singles. I Can See for Miles, Happy Jack, Can't Explain, Kids Are Alright, Pinball Wizard, Legal Matter. One of the great uplifting albums, uplifting greatest hits albums of all time. So those are just a few examples of albums I turn to when I want to get rid of the funk. Let me know what albums do the same for you in the comments section. The title is Songs That Put Me Out of a Funk, or songs that, or albums that do away with the funk, basically. Let me know what those are in the comments section. As always, thanks for watching. If you dig the content, press subscribe. We'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.